Hey, welcome to the conversation that's as diverse as the dogs that we adore. This is Gundogs and Guard Dogs, ultimate podcast dedicated to talking sense about dogs with Les Graham and Ross McCarthy. They work with all breeds of dog, but one specialises in gun dogs and the other prefers guard dogs. No flashy trends or social media hype here, just tried and true knowledge that stands the test of time. They bring you valuable insights and honest conversations about the social predator you share your home with. So here we go. About 45 minutes of gun dogs, guard dogs, good dogs, some maybe not so good dogs, and a dash of gossip.
Good day, Les Graham. Here we are, Gundogs and Guard Dogs.
I know. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you very much. Yes, I'm all right. Do you want me to just say I'm all right, or do you want me to kick off moaning about the patch on my ceiling?
I was going to say, we're matchy today, look.
Yeah, it's all very bright, isn't it? Yeah, I'm matching the decor, really. I sort of blend into the cushions.
The decor, not the decoration.
The decor.
God, you're so posh.
I know, I can't help it, Les. I just can't help it.
It was quite funny because the other week we were talking about something really serious, and you said something, and inside I was laughing because of the word that you used, but it wasn't actually funny. I think you were talking about episodic something or other, and it's just the way you go from talking like a Londoner to being all academic, and oh yes, it's an episodic. Blah, blah,
no, you see. If I wasn't so tired all the time, I probably would be quite posh, but I get a bit lazy.
Yeah. Okay, so go on and have a rant before we start.
No, I wasn't going to have a rant. No, I was just, as I sat down to talk to you, I just looked up and there's a damp patch on the ceiling, but I'm sure people aren't really interested in the damp patch in the ceiling.
I won't tell you the Chubby Brown joke again then.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. That was a bit close to the knuckle.
Close to the knuckle, that was for sure.
Have you had a good fortnight?
I had a very good fortnight. I've been away teaching again, which is lovely. Had a lovely group of people. We'd been doing a dog aggression workshop for 4 days, so came back I think day before yesterday.
So you shattered?
Not so bad actually. It's funny, you get used to it, don't you? I do quite a lot. When we used to do a 2-day course back in the day, we'd be absolutely shattered on Sunday evening, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
After 2 days, but actually now I do like 4 and 6 days. Kind of get used to it a little bit.
I think you're getting to the swing. For me, it's always because I do 5 days, and it's the hump day, isn't it? It's like that third day you get up and you think, shattered, and I've got another couple of days to go. And then by the end of that third day, you're like buzzing again and ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. We did talk from Friday through Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So drove up there a Thursday, came home Tuesday. So that just completely, I had no idea what day it was at all throughout the whole period of time. Thought it was Monday when I came back. Of course, that was Tuesday. So
we teach from a Wednesday, so it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're going on a Wednesday thinking it's a Monday.
Yeah,
start of the new week, and it just does not throw you. The rest of the week, you're just completely disorientated.
Yeah, it's funny. Discombobulated. How's your fortnight been? Have you had a nice time?
Yeah, I've just been writing like a demon, really.
Oh, that's good because you set yourself a deadline, haven't you, to get that done?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. We had an issue with the pictures that I was putting in. One of the app that I was looking at, because what I'm doing is I'm converting photos to sketches, and I was originally just going to do like ears and tails, but Mark, who does the typesetting for me, found a fantastic piece of kit, and the sketches that it produces from the photos is fantastic. So I'm going to put a lot more images in it, black and white sketches. So I'm having to rethink what I'm doing now. Sorry, my phone's buzzing. So I'm having to rethink what I'm doing in relation to talking about different bits where I'm going to be putting them.
Oh, well, it's all part of the process, isn't it?
It's all part of the process, but it's going really well. I just haven't, what it's like, you get to a certain point in the month, and you've got certain things that you have to do. And I'm now at the point where in a couple of days I need to be marking homework. I'm not going to pull that face because my students are probably watching, but yeah, I'm at the point where I need to put everything to one side and then mock homework.
Yeah, so that'd be nice, won't it?
Yeah. So yeah, but good. Flicking through my diary. Yeah, I'll be writing again middle of next week. I'll be up back at it. So I was hoping for a Christmas publication, but I think I'm actually going to expand the book instead, and it'll be New Year, new book.
That's good, isn't it? I'm sure people have already started their Christmas shopping and everything, haven't they? Those organised people. So
those organised people. So they won't be able to get it for Christmas, but you know what? When they get a Christmas present, and I'm really disappointed, and they're looking for something else and something better to read come the end of January, then they'll be going, "Oh, Les is getting a new book out soon."
yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? When everybody's got no money to spend on anything, you'll be trying to slog books.
Don't say that. I'll rush it through. No, I'd rather take a bit of time and get it right than rush it just for the sake of a Santa coming.
I wouldn't think it'd matter too much, would it?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have thought so. No.
And the other thing, it won't. If I look to get it out at Christmas, I won't be able to promote it properly.
No, it's a silly deadline to have that, isn't it? It's not. Yeah, I wouldn't
Thank
worry
you
about
for that. You could have told me that before I started getting stressed about hitting the deadline.
Well, I hadn't considered how silly it was until you first mentioned it.
Yeah, but no, good fortnight. Dogs are good. Got some really nice footage of Emrys, which is great
Oh, that's nice. What's that for then?
for me. That was really good timing for the people who are listening. I managed to time it when Ross took a big mouthful of water and he almost sprayed the camera with it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. You've got some nice footage of Emma. Excellent. I thought it might be for something.
No, I'll probably put it on TikTok or something or on Instagram. It's a cracking stop, cracking down at distance. He's like running like just go down and he hits the deck.
Oh, that's good.
Nice bit of training.
Are you on TikTok?
I've just gone on it. I've got like 4 videos on now.
Amazing.
Are you impressed? I've got, and this is relevant because we are going to be talking about training onwards. So I've got, no dancing.
You're not
dancing on there.
No.
No, I've got a rant about the XL bully the day that the Prime Minister announced that he was going to ban them, and then I've got a video of Emrys playing in the water. I've got, I think it's Emrys running backwards when we were playing on the field, a retrieve, walking 2 dogs together on my right rather than on my left because we were walking alongside a road, which is really important.
Yeah.
When Emrys banged himself in the woods, and then this amazing down.
Cool. You got any followers or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, the one of the 2 dogs walking to heel it's had like 1,300 views, which is nice. Don't know how many followers I've got. Not many. I haven't been on there long.
No, well, I might.
Followers.
The trouble is, I do spend a lot of time looking at Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and I really can't have TikTok as well.
Yeah, I know. I don't go on it. Well, I do go on it. I load a video and then get off it quick.
I might go on.
I don't want to sit and watch it.
No, what's your thing? Your handle or whatever they call it?
That's Graham.
Oh, just original.
Sorry, no, not concise, consistent. Not yes, original, but also really consistent.
I might have a look later then.
Yeah, Les Graham, and it's the same. I've got the same photo of myself all the way through.
I am on it.
Easy to find.
No, that's good. I think I am on it because I can see stuff. So I think I must have an account, mustn't I?
Yeah, you'll be on it. You'll be on it. I think. Yeah, I just thought I'd see what it was all about.
Oh well.
So, but yeah, it's I'm just putting videos on at the minute. I've got like 1,000 videos on my phone. It's driving me mad. All of dog training.
Yeah.
All of dog training. So
Well, I was just thinking I could recycle the old Instagram videos and stick them on TikTok.
I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah.
And YouTube. I've got like hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel.
And can you put them on TikTok?
Can download them off YouTube and put them up there, yeah. No reason why. Well, yes, I can if I've got time. I haven't got time at the minute. Time is the big issue.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Time is an issue. Time is an issue. Time is an issue for everybody, isn't it, apparently?
Apparently so.
Everyone I
Even
speak
though
to.
everyone's only got 24 hours in the clock, some people get things and some people don't.
Yeah. I think some people just lie. Everybody that you speak, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. I think, oh, Jesus Christ, you can't be that busy. But everybody is, apparently.
I am that busy.
Yeah.
Stop looking at your ceiling.
Oh, did I have a look at the ceiling again?
every 2 minutes you're going.
I know, it's really annoying, that is. It's really annoying. Never mind. Let's talk about dogs.
Let's talk about dogs. So, carrying on from living with dogs, we were going to talk about some of the training that we do and the methods and the different methods out there.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, actually, because, like I said, I've just come back from that 4-day workshop. And so it's been on dog aggression. And we've had a lot of like really varied people on there. I've had a few dog legislation officers from various police forces and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just fascinating really talking to everybody about kind of training methods. And I think now in the environment that we're in, everybody feels very pressured to train exclusively positively and use weird kind of terminology and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at your ceiling now?
No, I'm not. I'm rolling my eyes because I think there's no such thing as positive only training.
It's ridiculous. Well, there is, according to...
That was me rolling my eyes, like not looking at the ceiling. I was just rolling my eyes, going, "Oh God, really?"
I thought you were taking the mick out of me. Yeah, no, and I think it's quite interesting because when you give people permission to be honest and talk and have, conversations without judgment, then it's refreshing for people.
It is. Have you finished talking?
Yeah.
I saw this video years ago, and it was one of these things. It wasn't backed. It was somebody put out this new technique, and it was like the second coming. Do you know how they do that every now and again? It's like, oh, this is amazing. It's the second coming. And I can't remember off the top of my head who the behaviourist was, but I know she had a rottie and she was demonstrating it with a rottie. And it was, if your dog shows aggression to another dog in class, and this is positive only training, okay? What you do is you stand in front of the dog, you get hold of it by the collar and you swing it around so it's facing you.
Right.
And everyone went, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, positive only. Look, I'm not telling my dog off. No, you're just grabbing it by the collar and dragging it around and yanking it in front of you.
Yeah.
And so I find a lot of the positive only really misleading. People say, I'm positive only. I mean, we know people, and you probably know how I'm on about. I know somebody who trained with me and helped me and is now a positive only trainer. And yet people have seen her ragging her dog.
Yeah. Well, I have two problems with that. The first one is
nonsense.
No, it is nonsense. The first problem I have with positive only trainers is a lot of the people that profess to be positive only trainers, what they do behind closed doors is a different thing to what they put on social media and what they always spout. And equally, a lot of the time, people that are positive only using all these kind of bizarre methods and things keep the dog in whatever state it's in for longer. So whether it's fearful or aggressive or whatever it is, then through their methods of food and their behavioural adjustment and keeping the dog under threshold and all that stuff, prolong the dog's agony as opposed to just getting over it and getting on with life. It's in the name of kindness, they cause an awful lot of suffering.
They do, but also we have to teach our dogs resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are living in a bubble of, no, don't get stressed. I'm not going to let you there's a threshold. Beyond that, you're stressed. If we're keeping them under the threshold all of the time, not only are they going to get stressed because they're being like fed food all of the time, which is going to get dopamine going, it can get some cortisol going in their system as well, because they're getting stressed about whether they're getting that treat or not. But we're keeping them under the threshold where they're learning resilience and they're learning self-control.
Yeah.
And we need both of those things in our dogs. We need the dogs to be resilient under stress so that they don't have a meltdown. If we're constantly protecting the dogs from any kind of level of stress, then when the shit hits the fan, they're not going to be able to cope with it.
No, it's no different to us, is it? Stress is a part of life, and we have to cope with it or learn to cope with it, as opposed to avoid it. You can't avoid it, can you?
No, you can't.
And what each dog finds stressful or whatever is, dependent on that individual dog, isn't it? You can't prevent stress across the board because it might find, various things stressful.
And the other thing is what happens to the body under extreme excitement is pretty much the same as what happens under stress.
Yeah.
So does that mean they're going to leave the dogs in a bubble and not allow the dogs to go through the range of emotions that a dog should feel, excitement, and in relation to fear, there is a level of fear when dogs live in the pack, because they're minding what they're doing. Because if they don't, then they'll know about it from one of the other dogs or from a senior rank. So it's part of their life. It is
part of their life. And when people talk about fear, I always just think it's a bit like parenting, like when you're a kid, like normal kids are, you're not terrified of your parents all the time, but actually when you do something that you shouldn't have done, or you shouldn't have done, and then now you found out you shouldn't have done it, you're frightened, aren't you? You're fearful of the consequences. Well, you are. I mean, when your mum says, "Wait till I tell your dad," you don't think, "Oh, good, that'll be party time." You're frightened of the consequences, aren't you? And that's why you behave. And it's very similar. So it's not that your dogs are terrified of you, but actually, when you say no, don't do that, there has to be some kind of element of fear, if you like, that there's a consequence that's may follow that if you don't stop.
Absolutely. And I mean, I used to say to Callum when he was young, I would be his worst nightmare if I needed to keep him on the right side of the law. And it's kind of the same with us, to keep the dog out of trouble, to keep the dog safe. Then if we have to run up the field after the dog with sparks, like steam from their ears because it's heading off after a hare which won't go to the ground and is heading for the road. Yeah, of course the dog's going to think, oh, best stop chasing the hare. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to have that, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. You deal with a predator.
Yeah.
And in the animal kingdom, any behaviour that is ignored is acceptable behaviour.
Yeah.
And the way they know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable is when there's negative consequence for stepping over the line.
Yeah.
And it's not just dogs. You see with horses, I know you're not a horsey guy, but you'll see a herd. If you look like on YouTube, watch the horses and the wild herds of horses, and if any of the herds step out of line, normally the lead mare will chase it out. And then this is where if you've ever seen Monty Roberts, this is where the joining up comes from. The horse will go around the outside of the herd, and then it'll drop its head and start mouthing and licking, and it's its way of showing deference.
Yeah.
And then it'll be allowed back into the herd. But as soon as it steps out of line, it's straight back out again. And it's the same with the dogs. It's the same with any animal that is in a social group, ourselves included.
Yeah.
We, like, for us, we break the law, and there should be consequences when you break the law. Not always, but there should be. If in the family, if you do something that the family doesn't agree with,
you're
in trouble.
Yeah, and in corporate environments, in your work environment, there are rules that have to be followed, and if you don't follow them, there has to be a consequence. Otherwise, you just wouldn't do what you didn't want to do, would you? You wouldn't want to, wouldn't want to do your work if you didn't have to. There's a
TikTok all day.
On TikTok all day. No, I drove through a red light the other day, and got a letter in the post, and
Did you?
yeah, got obviously hopefully I'm able to go on a course instead of get a fine, but get points on my license. There's a consequence. I mustn't do that again, must I?
How many points?
Well, I don't know yet. I had to just fill in whether I was the driver or not. So I'm waiting for that. So I'm hoping that I'll just be able to do a course, another one of those courses.
Another course. You've done 4 courses. Oh my God! So the consequences aren't good enough for you, then, other they need to be a bit more severe to stop that from happening.
Well, that is over a long period of time. That is over what? How many years driving? Long time.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I got 3 points on my license years ago, and I was absolutely mortified. I was heartbroken.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, the front end of my car was on the zigzags, and I got 3 points on my license for it.
Oh well, I years ago,
I honestly I couldn't stop crying. I was absolutely horrified that I'd been driving for 30 years and I got 3 points on my license for having like the front end of my car in a zigzag.
Well, I got up to 12 points. I got up to 12 points, and I didn't realise there was a limit. That's the limit. I thought you just kept collecting them like club card points.
Oh my God, I've got no points on my license now.
I haven't now. Well, I haven't, and depending on this one, but no, I haven't got. I've got a clean license at the moment.
I think we need the consequences for you, Mr. McCarthy, because they obviously aren't working sufficiently to stop you from doing it.
No, well, it's not all for running red lights, but they just get frustrated, don't you? In London, it's just the traffic is horrendous, and you just go around the corner. There's another set of lights, and you just think, "Oh, stuff it."
I'm getting through whether I should or not.
Yeah, stuff it. I'm not stopping again. But no, but yeah, there's consequences for everything, isn't there? And all sorts of whatever social group you're in, whether that's like you said, family or work or whatever.
Partners. Yeah. You piss your partner off, who's not going to be a partner for very long, because
about it.
We have like personal boundaries, don't we? And we have to have them with the dogs as well as with people. If people aren't treating you with respect, you're not going to hang around with them for very long. And we need to make sure that we have those kind of things with the dog. If the dog's not treating us with respect, then we need to do something about it.
Well, a lot of what I look at, I look at the way that the dogs engage with each other. They're not, when you open the back door, they don't all stand there saying, "Would you like to go first? Or would you like to go? Would you like to go?" Do you know they're out? It's everyone for themselves, isn't it? I'm here first. I'll go through the door first, and we'll all get our heads stuck in. Do you know what I mean? Because there's
like this jam, isn't there, going through the door?
Yeah, just get stuck in. There's no, and piece of food on the floor. They don't all sit back, do they? And wait for it to be cut up and shared. There's a bit of food, it's gone. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And they all have,
unless you teach them not to.
Unless you teach
them
not to.
And then put consequences in when they either if they do go to snatch or barge or it's not stealing, because there's no such thing as stealing, but when they do go in to grab things, then if we put consequences in, they'll not do it. But unless there's consequences there for doing it, they're going to keep doing it.
No, exactly. I played a film last week, actually. I've got a film of me feeding 4 dogs, my own dogs. And just to show kind of the different hierarchy, or their kind of hierarchy within my little social group. And there's bits that are refilmed due to sort of learn actions. So if I put a bowl on the floor, I wanted the illustration was to see what would happen if, a higher status dog, like a lower status dog, was fed in the presence of a higher status dog. So the higher status dog just goes in and knocks the lower status dog out of the way and eats the food. But because of the taught actions, you didn't see that straight away, because I put a bowl of food down for one dog and the other one waits, just because that's what they're taught to do. That's not their natural behavior would be, get out of that, I'm having it. Yeah.
I've got a great video of Spud and Dante, doing that, you know. So like that, they would the weight they turn until you tell them they can eat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the garden one day. Dante was having a drink, and Spud just came straight in, just knocked Dante straight out of the way so you get a drink.
Yes, yeah.
And Dante kind of went. Spud
Yeah.
had his drink, and Dante went and had another drink. Spud came back, knocked him out of the way again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really interesting, you know, see it want to take it, isn't it?
It's really interesting. I mean, even like you said, water, you wouldn't think was a massive kind of resource because it's pretty freely available, isn't it?
But it is when they're thirsty and there's only one bowl of it.
Yeah, I see it with my dogs. I mean, I'll you know, particularly if I'm away or whatever, I'll take a bowl up to the back of the car kind of thing, if they've been in the car or whatever. And half the time, I think even if the other one doesn't want it, they'll knock one out the way. I'm having that.
Yeah, just because they can.
Because I can. I'm having that water. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really funny. And I think this is why people are coming unstuck at the minute. There's you know, there's organisations that say we will not endorse any kind of negative reinforcement.
Yeah, there's lots of those organisations around.
There's lots of those organisations, but negative reinforcement from whose perspective? From the owner's perspective or from the dog's perspective?
I don't think people even know what they're talking about. I mean, when people are talking about kind of force-free and dogs should live without, you know, force. I mean, my dogs right now are forced to be in a room away from me. Yeah. They're forced to be in the house. I'm forcing them to stay in the house, and I'm forcing them to be in a room away from me. They would probably rather be laying in here on my white carpet, which ain't happening, or they would probably rather I left the front door open and they can go up and down the street whenever they like, can't they? And chase cats and pee up things and do what they want to do. But we can't do any of that, so I have to force them to stay there. Yeah. And I force them to have dinner when I decide to feed them, and force them to come for a walk when I want to go.
The other thing is, if like you work, and people are so, and I mean, I suppose we're both classed as academics because we've both got master's degrees, even though
we have.
I don't class myself as an academic.
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm not. I can do academia, but I'm not an academic. And it makes me laugh, but at the same time, I just think, oh, for God's sake, get over yourself, man. You see them, that was very Geordie-ish, wasn't it? You see them on social media, and at the minute, it's like, oh, I'm using the fourth quadrant of operant conditioning, or I'm doing counter conditioning, or I'm doing, you know, schedules of reinforcement. And you just think, you know, it's just dog training.
It's so difficult.
It's just dog training, you know.
I saw a post the other day from like an American trainer, and just on social media, and he said, never, ever, ever in like 30 years of working in this industry, if I ever sat with a client and explained the quadrants of operant conditioning, I just, you know, it's never, ever been necessary. And the language, the things that the terminology and stuff that people come up with now. I just spoke to a lady yesterday. She's got a 21-month-old male Rottweiler that she's got some problems with. Uh-huh. And she's got a veterinary behaviourist that she's working with. So I said to her, you need to love them. So she's got a veterinary behaviourist that, you know, she said the dog's pulled her over onto some steps and injured her. What, the lady or the veterinary? The owner. The veterinary behaviourist never met the dog. She just gives her advice on the telephone or Zoom or whatever. The dog's pulled her over, and I said, "What would you walk your dog on?" She said, "A harness." Oh, for God's sake! You can't walk a Rottweiler on a harness. So she's got this dog on a harness that's injured and fallen over, and it's being aggressive towards other dogs. It's 21 months old. It's just started lunging at people and dogs and whatever. And so the behaviourist said, "Oh, she needs to start teaching some disengagement techniques." I hate that. I hate that word. What are you even talking about? What are you talking about? I hate it when people say that. You need to teach the dog to disengage. Really? The things I said to her, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, you've got a 21-month-old Rottweiler. Yeah, they're not great with other dogs. You need to get on with it. Get on and sort it out. Yeah, disengagement tech. You need to work on no, you don't. You need to manage your dog, train it properly so it's not going over to dogs in the park. Do you know what I mean? It's just nonsense. And I think people just try and bamboozle everybody with semantics and words, and you know, science is trendy at the minute. Oh, everything's I mean, you've got barrier frustration. What's that thing where they're on a lead? Oh God, leash
Act.
something. Just the pits, and you just think,
The
oh, this.
lead, what are you on about?
When they do, there's a thing they call it. You know, when your dog's aggressive on the lead, they call it leash something or other, which doesn't even mean anything.
Well, I tell you what, my absolute pet hate is. I'm
Go
going to
on,
tell you anyway whether you want it or not.
go
But
on.
my absolute pet hate is when people go, "I've got a reactive dog,"
Oh,
and you hear
don't.
trainers say, "Oh, it's a reactive dog. Oh,
Everyone says
working with
that.
the reactive," and you just go, "Congratulations, your dog is alive."
Yeah, I know. It's such a
Do
weird
you know what I mean?
term.
It's like, my dog's reactive. Congratulations. Of
I
course, your
know.
dog's reactive. If it wasn't reactive, it would be dead.
I know. It's
And so I
stupid.
just, I've just been writing about it. Just been writing about it in my new book.
Your new book coming out in 2024.
Coming out 2024. But it's like you're reacting to everything all of the time. You're constantly reacting to sight, sound, smells, temperature. That's just on the outside. On the inside, you're reacting to hormones, to digestive system, to you've got a reactive dog, your dog's alive.
My dogs are incredibly reactive when I pick up my car keys. Do you know what I mean? Very reactive to that.
All I've got to do is go and open the door behind me, and the
Yeah.
dogs will be really reactive.
Mine are very, very reactive when I get food bowls out. It's just as stupid. I don't even know where that came from, but everybody likes it, don't they? Because it just sounds, I've got a
It's
reactive
because they
dog.
don't have to say the word aggressive.
No.
Because if they put a label of aggressive on the dog, then not only do they have to deal with it properly, but the stigma that's attached to it.
Yeah.
So rather than saying I've got a really aggressive dog, they just go, my dog's dog reactive. What you mean your dog jumps up and down and wags its tail at the dogs? Or does it want to kill other dogs? Pick one.
Yeah. No, it's people hide behind it. It's almost like a badge these days. You know, my dog's reacting. Say, "Oh, that's a shame, darling, is it?" Oh, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like having a
Put it on
rescue.
a harness.
Yeah, put it on a
Fine.
harness, get a yellow sticker on it, and go out and tell everybody that it's reactive and it's a rescue, and then everybody will fall at your feet, won't they? It's weird. We live in such a strange society.
It is very strange way, because at one point it used to be, it was the badge of honor for having a rescue dog. So they go, "Oh, my dog's a rescue dog. It's why it closed on the lead. My dog's a rescue dog. That's why it doesn't come. My dog's a rescue dog because." You go, "Oh, Ross, how long have you had your rescue dog?" "Oh, I've had it for 10 years.
Exactly.
It's not a rescue dog anymore, mate.
No.
It's not being a rescue after like 4 weeks, 6 maximum.
Yeah, it's your dog.
It's your dog, your problem. And now it's reactive, It's like they've got this badge of honor. I've got a reactive dog.
I know. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre.
It is really strange the way it's
I see people. I just see people. I think I might have said to you before. I went to see a client in Hackney a couple of years ago now, and they had a small dog. I can't really remember what it was. Some kind of mixed breed, some Bichon mix or whatever. And it was lunging and barking at dogs like aggressively, and then looking back for the treat. And I'd never seen anything like it before. They'd obviously seen a couple of behaviourists already.
I've seen that.
I was fascinated. I was like, "Can you see what the dog's doing?" I was absolutely fascinated because the very methods they've been trying to use to make this better had taught the dog, that's exactly what we want. We want you at the end of your lead, barking and lunging, and then you get your reward. It was amazing to watch. It was literally, it was like, "Okay, I can have my treat now."
Yeah, do you remember that Labrador that I went to see? Oh my God, that little beautiful little Labrador puppy.
No.
And that had a positive only behaviourist out. Absolutely cracking little black lab. That had positive only behaviourist out.
Oh, I do remember now. I know. Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
She sat on because I ended up having to rehome the dog in the end because it got so bad. And the behaviourist sat on the floor, fed the puppy treats and said, look, there's nothing wrong with your puppy. And she was chatting away to the owners and she's saying, look, there's nothing wrong with your dog. But I think it was about 6-month-old by then, had big teeth and I know that. There's nothing wrong with your dog. She was chatting away. She was feeding the dog. She was just like, yeah. Look, your dog's absolutely fine. It's not biting me. It's not doing this. And she was just like force feeding this dog. How you force feed, is it foie gras? Where you just constantly...
Oh, yeah, foie gras.
That's what it makes me think of, where they're force feeding these dogs.
Yeah.
So what she'd successfully taught this dog to do, this young dog to do, was go over to this beautiful wooden telly unit thing, you know, and they trained the dog to walk over and put its teeth on the TV unit, and used to hold the TV unit and it would like look, give them the side eye going, I've got hold of this, are you going to come and give me? And they would go over and they would put a sweetie at the end of the dog's nose and they would lure it off the TV unit and feed it. And then it got to the point where it was doing that with their arms. So it was literally, you know, grabbing hold of their arm and like this and waiting for the sweetie. And when the sweetie didn't come, it would just increase its pressure on their arm until it got a sweet. Yeah. And it got the point where it would run up when I won't say her name, but when she was hanging the washing out, she would run up, this dog would get hold of her by the calf muscle and it wouldn't let go until she'd given it a sweet.
Yeah.
And they'd brought, this is like positive only training in action. They'd actually mistimed the treat. And so they were rewarding the behaviour that they didn't want the dog to have. Yeah. And it was a mess. And in the end, I had to get the dog out of the house. I had to rehome the dog because the relationship was so destroyed.
Yeah.
We had to get it out of the environment. And then they had lovely dogs after that. But, you know, the children wouldn't leave the kitchen because they were so scared. The kitchen had a stair gate on to stop the dog going in when they were cooking. And you would go in and all of the family would be in the kitchen talking and the dog would be in the house because they were getting bitten so much.
I know. I don't suppose you saw that video Karen Harvey shared the other day, did you, on Facebook? It was about, she had shared it from someone, I think it was an American trainer. I don't know if it was American or in the UK, whatever. But basically this dog kept jumping up as a trainer, jumping up and having a go, like biting her arms and things. So she's throwing food on the floor to get it away and to calm it down. And you just think, what an idiot. You know, the dog's coming up, biting your arms, and you're throwing food and rewarding it, and then it's coming back and intensifying. It's getting more and more excited as it's going on, obviously, because it's, you know, good food. And just ridiculous. And you see these idiots all over the place, don't you? I mean, it's just,
I'll have to have a look when we're done. I'll
have to scroll down a bit, but yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Is that on her Dogma page or is it on
her own page?
On her own page, I'll have a look. Yeah. There was a flat coat came training with me years ago. I did the one and only training day is an introduction to gun dog training. I thought, I'm not doing that again. This girl came with this absolutely huge 11-month-old entire flat coat. Mm-hmm. Every time she went into a pocket, if she didn't get a treat out, the dog jumped up and bit her arm.
Yeah.
Right, you know, this soft bit under here.
Nice, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, she was covered.
Your bingo wing.
Speak for yourself, love. Muscle. But yeah, literally, this dog, if she didn't, you know, she was frightened of moving because if she moved and didn't give the dog a treat,
yeah,
take a chunk out of her.
I know. There's a lady around the corner. She's got it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but she contacted me some time ago. She was looking for a miniature poodle she was looking for. So I said, I've got a friend who breeds miniature poodle, blah, 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 blah. So put her in touch and everything else and spoke to her and everything. She's looked, and anyway, she went and found a miniature poodle puppy, obviously. And she's got this
not
puppy.
Obvious to me because I don't know the story.
No, well, she's got one now, so she obviously found one somewhere. And yeah, she lives just around the corner. She's been here. I had a mobile groomer that used to come and park a van outside my house, and she came round and used my electricity to have her little poodle groomed when I got mine done and whatever. And then she started having trouble with her dog, being aggressive towards other dogs in the street on lead.
Okay.
She didn't come to me. She didn't come to me and ask. So now she walks the dog. It must be about 3 years old now, 2 or 3 years old. And she walks it on a yellow lead and harness. Goes bonkers when it sees other dogs on the lead. I think it's all right in the park off the lead, I think. But on the lead, it goes absolutely mental. And she has to go in gateways and feed it or do a quick about turn and start feeding it. And I was I'd laugh. I was thinking, that's how ridiculous. I mean, but yeah, it didn't come to me for help because she probably, I don't know what. Well, I don't know why she didn't come to me, but she's got help.
There's a lady in the village. She's got this little Bichon cross poodly thing. Little
curly thing.
Little curly thing. And oh God, it's so yappy.
Yeah.
It's like that when it sees you, and it's up on its hind legs and it's on the collar. She has got it on the collar. And she'll be holding it out like this on the lead. Like, so it'll be like that on the lead, and the dog will be going and choking. And the dog will be bouncing along, but she won't tell it off.
No, they don't.
She holds it and she goes, "Now don't be silly, it's just those dogs now, there's nothing to worry about." You think, you're just praising constantly the behaviour of what you're getting. You know, if you give it a check and told it to stop, the dog would go, "Oh, okay."
I know. Okay, I'll stop then. Yeah. And then you can have nice walks and it doesn't have to do that, does it? And get in a heightened state of frustration and arousal and whatever else it is.
Yeah.
But
I know.
No, people don't. And they just have this bizarre advice, don't they? I mean, this lady yesterday that was talking on the phone, she lives in Greenwich in London. And the vet behaviourist has said to her, avoid dogs. She lives in Greenwich.
No.
She doesn't live in the middle of bloody, some island. Yeah, no, she lives in Greenwich. And she'd avoid other dogs. But A, how? And B, what on earth is that ever going to achieve? It's weird. Avoiding and distracting is just avoiding and distracting, isn't it? You're never going to get anywhere with that.
It's not teaching the dog. And I empathise. I do empathise because Emerson knew with Feral Beryl as well. You know what it's like.
Well, we've all had dogs with problems.
We've all had dogs where they get over the top when they see other dogs, and you do have to move the dog to one side. You do have to do like the carrot stick approach.
Yeah.
You know that's enough, and you give them a correction, and then you praise them when they're being good, or you give them a food reward when they're being good. And like we're both positive trainers.
Yeah.
You're always working for the positive outcome.
Yeah.
And sometimes to get that positive outcome, you've got to give a correction before you can give them a reward. You have to stop the behaviour taking place before you can put a new behaviour in place.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. That's how the brain works. You stop them from doing that and you put a new behaviour in. And to use like avoidance rather than changing behaviour doesn't really work, because you'll be avoiding it for the rest of the dog's life.
Well, you will. And how can you avoid in the majority of places, really, you can't avoid dogs, can you? I mean, people are hiding behind cars and, behind bushes and stuff. Yeah, because that's what they've been told to do. I mean, it's madness, isn't it? And actually, to be honest with you, the avoidance, if anything, will make it worse. Do you know what I mean?
Make it more appealing for the dog.
Yeah. Well, you don't get, what you see every day becomes a normal part of your life, doesn't it? If you see dogs all the time, that becomes a normal part of your life. Whereas if you never see any, then obviously you're not going to interact, and it's going to get worse. Obviously.
Indeed. Obviously. No, but it does, doesn't it? Because you have to, that's like desensitization. You put the dog, you make the unfamiliar familiar.
Yeah.
The dog doesn't see dogs very often. Then you have to, at some point, expose them in a way that teaches them how you want them to behave around, not how they want to behave, how you want them to behave around dogs. Mm-hmm. And that means saying no, means teaching them know if they're going to mob other dogs, because it's keeping your dog safe as well as other dogs, isn't it? Because if a dog came running up and put his face in Dandy's face, he's of an age now where he'd just tell them where to get off.
Doesn't want it. Yeah, doesn't want it.
Not interested.
No, you do. I mean, yeah, I think, the thing for me is the only thing that will change a dog's view of other dogs is other dogs and you. Trying to use food and things like that. I mean, lots of people now, everything, all the things that you hear about, often some of those things have a place, like teaching the dog to watch you, excuse me, giving food rewards and stuff has its place, but actually just getting the dog to watch you and not look and process the dog in the environment is not going to move you forward, is it? Yes, there are times when we can use that as a part of what we're doing, but that can't be it.
No, I do lots of steadiness training and my online club, because it's online, you can't see them, you can't get in the thick of it. And so there is a lot of, let's teach the dog to stay focused on you regardless of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
In relation to like squirrel chases and stuff. But at some point, my advice always seems to end up, just throw a poo bag in a general direction and interrupt the behaviour.
Yeah.
Because you need to
interrupt the behaviour, isn't it? It's only a poo bag, it's not a sledgehammer, is it?
Only a poo bag. It's only a poo bag.
No.
And you've got like very little chance of hitting the dog with it. And you went like how I throw.
Well, we were talking on the workshop at the weekend, we were talking about resource guarding on one of the first days. And of course, people always say with resource guarding, and some, has a place, whatever, but people say if the dog's guarding something, then give it something higher value. Well, you can't.
All you're doing is giving them a higher value resource for them to guard.
Well, you can't. I mean, if it's guarding a tissue, because it's what that thinks, it thinks that tissue is important, whatever.
Auntie.
You can't get high. You can't keep getting high. If it finds a kebab in the park, you can't get higher, can you? What are you going to do when it's got a kebab in the park? You can't.
Give it another kebab.
Yeah, go and get a fresh one from the kebab shop while it's munching that one. I mean, you do this.
But if your dog's got a ball, say for example, in this resource garden, a ball, and its favourite toy's in the next room, if you then try giving it its favourite toy and it takes its favourite toy in favour of a scabby ball which isn't quite as high value, you're just giving it a higher resource to then guard.
Yeah, no, you are. I know. And it's all down to what they deem important, isn't it? What's important. I mean, when you see dogs guarding tissues and things, and it's just a tissue, but it's like we were just saying about dogs drinking the water. It's just not necessarily they're thirsty, but I'm drinking it because I can. And it's, this is my tissue and you're not having it. Do you know what I mean? And it's, a relationship kind of issue, and equally need a consequence to say, no, it's my tissue actually, because actually I pay the mortgage, not you. So until you're doing that, okay, I'll have what I want.
For Spud was funny. He would gather all of the toys and he would lie on them.
Yeah.
He would go up to Dante and Emrys and just muzzle clamp them just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Danny'd be lying there minding his own business, and Emrys would be as well, and Spud would just go there, muzzle clamp them, take the toy off them that was at their feet, put it on the bed and lie on it. So Spud would literally be lying on two toys and holding one in his mouth.
Yeah.
For the evening, that was it. He would just like, and Danny and Emrys would be at the other end of the bed just waiting, watching this little spaniel, like, is he going to muzzle? Is he going to come over and muzzle clamp myself or move? And he was a bugger.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting to watch. I should have had loads of videos of this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Really.
No, should have done. But no, it's fascinating to watch. But like you said, all of the training that we do, like, it's all positive. Do you know what I mean? It's all like when we talk about people being positive only or whatever. I mean, I can't think of anything that, we ever teach, like training wise, that's any kind of negative. We always use food, we use toys, it's all fun, and, it's all reward based, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just periodically.
There are consequences in there as well.
Yeah. And once it's like anything, once they understand, the rules and what you're asking, when they decide not to comply, then you need a consequence to say you do, because that's what keeps you safe.
It is.
And and the core exercises that we teach, like the core training exercises, like your recall and your instant down and your walking on a loose lead and all that, if the dog understands what to do and then makes a decision not to, then you need a consequence. Whereas if you're teaching exercises like, I don't know, hand touch or something, if the dog decides not to touch your hand, it's not really, it's pretty irrelevant, isn't it?
Trick.
It doesn't matter. But the things that keep your dog safe and keep it alive, you need to make sure that we've got that nailed, don't we?
Like down, recall. Yeah.
Yeah. And things to keep, they're not going to pull you over and, injure you in the street and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm glad we've sorted all of that out.
That was a proper little ranty thing, wasn't it?
Oh, we have to rename this, and it can't be Gundogs and Guard. It'll just be Ross and Lez rant.
But there is so much rubbish on. Oh, hello. There's so much rubbish on social media.
There's rubbish all over the place, and it's just so nice when you get to get together with people, like on courses and workshops and stuff like that. It's just nice that you can be with like-minded people, isn't it? That are sensible and that love dogs. Do you know what I mean? Do the very best they can, as opposed to do the best they can for themselves and their image.
So, what you've just said, do you think that the trainers are doing the best that they can, and that they just haven't had their minds opened?
No, I think people follow an ideology like a religion, and they don't see what's going on in front of them. They don't have an open mind. And some of the nice, force-free trainers are the most vile people on social media that you get. Do you know what I mean? You think, that be positive and friendly with people as well, actually, mate. But no, I don't, and I don't think they're doing the best for dogs. I think it's all kind of misguided, and like I said, what goes on behind closed doors, we don't know, do we? All I know is that myself and all the people that I know and work with are just honest and passionate and caring and do the very best they can. But honesty is really important, because that's how people learn, isn't it? Being honest, sharing experiences.
It's misleading as well, isn't it? If they say, I know gun dog trainers who say that they're positive only, or they wave food around and then lift the dog off their feet with an e-collar.
What goes on, you wouldn't believe what goes on. Yeah, and I think, like I said, saying one thing and doing another is the worst dishonesty, isn't it? Saying I'm fluffy and I do this and lovely, and then going home and giving your dog a whack. That's not honest and genuine at all.
Apart from being dishonest, it's absolutely soul destroying for the people who are following their kind methods.
Yeah.
And failing, because then they think it's them.
Which they do all the time.
It's like, with such and such has got an amazing down by doing blah blah blah. Well, are they really doing that?
Yeah.
I put one of the videos out of Emirates, and somebody got in touch with me and said, how did you train your high prey drive dog to stop like that on the whistle? And I completely ignored the message, because the same person contacted me 2 years ago and said, "Oh, I don't like the fact that you're telling people to throw poo bags at dogs."
No.
How do you think I sorted out my high prey drive dog?
No, I know.
For taking off and chasing rabbits.
Yeah, no. Well, like you said, I've got hundreds and hundreds of cases whereby people have seen behaviourists already. They've followed advice. It's not that they've just ignored. They followed the advice they were given. They've been out with their treats. They've been out with their harnesses. They've been working endlessly to achieve the results they need to achieve, and have failed. And like you said, they think it's them, and they keep plugging away at it with advice that's never going to work. So it doesn't work. And I'm amazed that people actually go and see a third or a fourth behaviourist.
I know.
And get, decent advice, because you think, actually, I've seen 3 behaviourists. Well, they're clearly behaviourists are rubbish, aren't they? So we won't bother with that again. But they obviously keep going because they can't live with the dog as it is.
And you have to take your hat off to them. I always feel very very compassionate and very humble, really humbled by these people who they see behaviourist, it gets worse. They see another behaviourist, it gets worse. They don't rehome the dog. They kind of do what the Black Lab people did. You know, spend their time living in the kitchen because they're frightened of getting it wrong with the dog because everything that they're doing, it's making it worse. And I just take my hats off to them for persevering with the dog and not rehoming it or putting it to sleep, which is what used to happen in the old days.
Well, it still does happen, doesn't it? It still does happen on a grand scale. I mean, rescue centres are full. And I know it's not exclusively, you know, it's not that. There's lots of issues with COVID and cost of living and everything else that's contributed to an all-time high. But there are people that, you know, rehome their dogs because they can't live with them. They can't. And actually, they could live with them with the different information given.
Yeah. I think we're failing dogs. I think we're failing dogs and we're failing the owners as well. Not us, me and you, but you know, as a profession.
Yeah, totally.
I think, and again, it comes down to being accountable, because there's no accountability in the profession, really. No,
there's not. But I don't think we're ever going to get that because nobody can agree on anything, can they? So,
nope. What's the saying? You get 3 dog trainers in a room, and you'll only get 2 of them to agree that the third one's rubbish.
Yeah, the third one's doing it wrong. Yeah. Totally.
Which is kind of what we've just done.
Yes.
to be realistic and honest about it, it's kind of what we've just done. But we have seen it happen again and again and again.
Yeah. Well, saying that is a common saying, that 3 dog trainer thing. But actually, I work with lots of people, as you do, and we all agree on the same. Do you know what I mean? We all agree. There were 24 delegates last week. Everyone's on the same page. Do you know, none of us were sitting there thinking, well, the rest of them are rubbish. Not at all. Everyone's on the same page. And like I said, just doing it for the good of dogs, really.
I think if you're doing it for the good of dogs and that you're not misleading. I mean, we do things differently. And yet we taught together for many, many years.
Yeah.
And people liked it that you would say, well, this is how I would approach this, and I would say, well, this is how I would approach that.
Yeah.
But here we are, how many years later?
A lot.
Still chatting and respecting what each other do.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to do it all the same, do we? Honestly, I mean, you know, every world would be a boring place, wouldn't it, if we're all the same?
Obviously.
Obviously. Right, listen, obviously we need to go now because obviously
we've chatted for way longer than normal.
Way longer.
So what we're doing next time?
Well, because
jingle bells, maybe.
Jingle bells, or Halloween's gone now. Halloween's out of the way, so maybe
Halloween's been and gone. Fireworks have been and gone.
Yeah, fireworks have been and gone.
There's only one thing left now, isn't there?
We can talk about getting festive, can't we? And preparing our dogs for the Christmas period, or the what do you call it? What is it? Holiday?
Christmas. Oh, it's not. It's Christmas.
Happy holidays.
What the Amazon? What's it? Black Friday or something? Cyber Monday.
Oh, Black Friday. Yeah, that's a new thing, isn't it? We haven't had that long.
No.
God.
Yeah, preparing for the festivities, I think. So are you going to get your Christmas jumper out of the loft?
Yeah, if I can find it, I'll get my Christmas jumper. I've only got one. It's probably rude, actually. Probably says something about Santa's sack or something. I don't know. Can't remember what it says.
Well, I'll see if I can find mine, and I'll see if I can dress Christmassy because it's nearly Christmas.
Nearly Christmas, yeah.
But does that mean we'll have to change our music to like Slade or something?
Yeah, no. All right, I'll leave that to you
then. Cool, right. I shall see you again shortly for
festivities.
Thanks for listening. It's not just gun dogs and not just guard dogs, but all things canine, as we hope you have discovered. Please like, share and subscribe and help us spread a bit of common sense back into dog ownership. and a review wouldn't go amiss either. Catch up with Les and Ross again in about 14 days for more canine conversations. Until next time, stay well and enjoy your dogs. Any dog-related questions or topics, just drop an email to talk@cfba.uk or message us via facebook.com/Gundogs and Guard Dogs podcast.